Yes, thank you. And Jim, what is that called? Kanun. Does everybody knew that was a kanun? Okay, thank you. It's not just me. Anyway, we're really impressed. Jim spent time in Egypt and is really a Middle Eastern instrument expert. Yeah. And the best part is watching how much fun he has when he's playing it. So thank you. And Happy New Year. You know, thank you. Happy New Year to everybody online. This was what we really wanted to start with, something different at the beginning of the service. And, that's what this new year is all about, for us to practice doing things that we haven't done before, something new, something different, and just feel what that feels like. Because I don't know about you, but some of us have some habits that are really old, and we just stay with them, and the new things are like, that's different. I'm not sure how do I get used to that? So thank you, Jim, for just starting us off. Oh boy, what a new beginning, the blank slate of a new year. It's the time I always go, do I have anything left with sequins on it? Is there anything left? That's just me. But it might have been something you were thinking about also. But we welcome everyone. This is the last of these celebrations that we have here at Unity that are interactive and allow you to be working and living these principles in this life. It's not, Unity isn't a place where you go, oh, I learned some things, and you do, but we really live them. We really use them in our life. It's called practical Christianity, practical spiritual practice. So I'm glad you're here to participate. And today's service is about the white stone and writing on the white stone, and we'll talk all about it, but it's mainly the symbol of the blank slate of the new year. So we'll start with your stone today, and you may go, this is a great time of the year energetically, to write down things that are on your heart. Things that and we'll talk later, it's not so much about pushing away what you don't want, but it's about really celebrating what's on your heart. So we start our service with the candle, and the candle is lit. It symbolizes the outer light, but it's really symbolizing the inner light that's within all of us, that is always burning. All we have to do is stop talking for a moment and just go within. So if you'll put your hand on your heart, we're going to affirm being the light of the world, all right? I'll say it, and then you can repeat after me. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. And because your neighbor, your family member is also the light of the world, you might have forgotten, but they so are. You look at your neighbor and say, you are the light of the world. Yeah. You are the light of the world. Yeah, Jim, you're the light of the world. Jim's up there. You're the light of the world. You're the light of the world, yes. Right? And I can tell you energetically, everything picks up when we start to see that in one another's eyes. I can feel it. Yeah, everybody's face looks happier because it's been mirrored back to us. And sometimes, people that you don't even know, you may say that, and then people come out of the service and go, I didn't even know, I've never met you. But you are the light of the world. Let's talk about that. And so we send this out to our world. Let's just rub our hands together. It's good to do on a day like today anyway. You can feel the energy that just starts, right? You might not have noticed it before, but here's this energy. And let's put our hands up. And I just allow you to envision this beautiful planet. And to all of our brothers and sisters, those online certainly, but all of our brothers and sisters all over this world, in countries that we don't even know, languages that we don't speak, to send them this energy of knowing the divinity that they are, the light that they are, and to all of our beautiful creatures, the flying, the crawling, the swimming, the jumping, it is all this oneness with divinity. And we say together, we are the light of the world. Let's say it together. We are the light of the world. Yeah. So we're going to get into a new vibration of this new day that's never come before. And I invite you just to close your eyes, also because I'm not an expert at this, and you might as well not watch it, but close your eyes, and you can just hear the vibration that will all come together and be in this oneness. And just breathing into this moment, it's so great to know that we're never alone. We are one with all that is. And especially these moments that we want to create from something that's maybe not been heard within us, that we have all the support we need. It's safe to go outside of your box. In fact, it is the only way to continue to live and honor the soul that you are. So we feel grateful for this power and presence that's within each of us, and as we come together where 2 or 3 are gathered, it is even more present. So we thank the Spirit that is within us, that awakens us, that connects us to one another, and that gives us clear vision for that we are to do and that we are to be. We feel grateful for the ease, for the enthusiasm. We open our hearts and open our minds, and we let it flow. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, indwelling Spirit, and so it is. Amen. So we honor, as I'm just being here today, as people leave their bodies and go back to the spirit that they are, it's so important to honor them, to celebrate them, and it helps us all reflect on how important it is to be present in the moment, because we will release these bodies at some point. And one of our congregants, Linda Whitley, had asked to have a flower in honor of her cousin, Nana Ann Whitley. Here she is. What a beautiful soul. And she passed away in Tifton, Georgia, December 30th. She was born at the end of the Depression in a farming community in Georgia. She lived through almost 90 years of a changing culture and changing America. Nana loved art, music, travel, and the Episcopalian Church, where she sang in the choir. All right, we all know about that, the singing and the connection. So Nana, blessings to you. Long may you run, long may you live, and allow your soul to be everywhere present as it is. And bless all those that have known you and loved you, and you inspire us just by being on the planet and being the great soul that you are. Thank you, Spirit. Amen. And thank you, Linda, for giving us the opportunity to reflect on the love that we are. So we are going to have a moment of you all singing and celebrating who you are and life itself. And so we're all going to stand and sing I'm Choosing Heaven Today, all right? And we're going to be led by Natalie Nesh. And here we go.
I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of peace right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. Clap with me, let's go. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of love right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the warm, loving spirit of unity. We have a great day in store. We have a great year in store. Are you ready? I'm going to start with the daily word shortly, but just to remind you, this is available right outside in the office, regular print, large print. Over time, you begin to appreciate that larger print makes a big difference. Actually, key words stand out even better. Daily word for today is clarity. The affirmation is, time spent communing with God gives me clarity. Let us say this together. Time spent communing with God gives me clarity. We need clarity. When I gaze toward the heavens on a moonlit night, I expect to see twinkling stars and constellations. But if I use a telescope, I see great detail in clarity. This example could describe my spiritual life as well. As I go about my day mindful of blissful feelings and kinship with all the people I meet and know. These things and more are the fruits of my faithfulness. But I find clarity during times of intentional contemplation. When I meditate upon the truth and I feel presence of God, filling my consciousness, touching my heart. This clarity informs my thoughts, words, and actions, bringing my faithfulness to vivid life. And from Corinthians, for now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I'll know fully, even as I have been known. Clarity. We all need clarity in various ways. It's worthwhile finding out where that is and shine the light, greater understanding. I've had an interesting Christmas time. Our family's going through some big changes, and so I use my quiet time in the morning, intentional contemplation, to prepare for the day, each day. We had our adult sons with us for a whole week. It was so wonderful. And yet, there's things we need to deal with. And so I asked for help. And it made a difference. It just helped lift my mood, it helped me be more sensitive to what was going on, helped me be more aware of what's behind what's being said, what's above what's being said, what the sources are within each of us, to heal the issues slowly unfolding. And we had a great time. It was wonderful. Presents, food, chocolate, games, music, watching favorite things. I think it was the best time we ever had. And I'm sure in part it was the intentional contemplation, asking for help. Make this good. Help us to do it better together. And we're all slowly growing. We get used to so much. A rise above the routine can be a challenge, but necessary if we're looking for more. I hope your Christmas time went well. And the burning bowl, the ritual, whether we attend or not, it's a time of closing, a time of healing, a time of completing and learning the lessons. As we learn the lessons, and we don't have to repeat them. If we really learn the lessons, we take a new sense of creativity, a new sense of hope and enthusiasm for what lies ahead. And today, we're going to address what lies ahead. A simple ritual, a simple formula for how to embrace the future. Embrace the future. Release the bundles of the past and use that energy to energize where we're going. Let us make this a great session and a great day. Thank you.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter and strife, in 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in a life? Love. How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure life of a woman or a man? In shoes that she learned, or in times that she cried, in bridges that burned, or the way that she died. It's time not to sing that the story never ends. Let's celebrate, remember a year in a life of friends. Remember the love. Remember the love. Remember the love. Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
Thank you. Ah, Natalie, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So, did you know 525,600 minutes? That's your year. And, yesterday and this morning, we've used about 1,500. So we really have, thank God for calculators, 524,100 minutes. But no stress. That's still a lot. And so our question with all those minutes is, how do we make them seasons of love? And how do we live these minutes that will never come again? How do we use the law, spiritual law, to live the life that we want to live, that we love to live, and be that example for others and inspire others? The best way you can inspire anyone is to be happy. The best way you can inspire anyone is to be passionate, to do the things that you enjoy doing. I don't know what it must have been like, Jim, in your household when you're like, oh, I'm interested in Middle Eastern instruments. Oh, well, that's nice. Why don't you be an accountant, right? You know how they are. How are you going to make any money doing that, right? And so we've had a funny little childhood, and growing up in the sense of, this is what I love, and this is who I am, and the universe and what we teach here is then go for it, right? And you will always find the people that will support you. You will always find your tribe out there. And that's kind of what we find when we come into Unity, this is a tribe of folks that really are committed to living this freedom. And not freedom where I impinge on your freedom, but freedom of birthright, of inheritance, of creativity. There's no one that doesn't have that. We're born into a universe that's really full of potential, and we're often told, you can't do that, or that's not going to be the way life's going to work, and on and on and on. And then pretty soon, pretty early, they say 1 through 3 years is where you really get your imprint of how you see the world and how you see yourself. And my mom was an early education major, and I'm always like, so Mom, 1 through 3, I hope you did a good job. Anyway, and she's a person, right? A person being a parent, it's a tricky journey for all of us to really live in our sense of authenticity. And we learn and we keep having the opportunity to do that. So now we have a little less than 524,100 minutes, but the point is that it's always available to us, this new beginning, this blank slate that's symbolized by our white stone today. But what do we do often instead of living the seasons of love? What do we do at the beginning of the year? What do we make? Resolutions. Yes. Anybody have the habit of making resolutions? Yes. And so in Unity, we do a different thing we'll talk about, right? But resolutions, what are some typical resolutions? Lose weight. Yeah, right? How do we all know this? Right? And what's another one we all do? Exercise more. Yes, I was at my yoga class. I heard over the speaker, we have a special starting January 1st. I'm like, okay. Now, let's see, what else? So lose weight and exercise more and, yeah.
Eat better. Don't eat so many sweets.
Okay, not so many sweets, all right. Some of you might have had we're going to quit smoking. I don't know. Do we have a lot of ex-smokers here? I don't know. That was kind of the gig when we were growing up somehow. It's like so sexy to smoke cigarettes. But so many of us have had to look up I don't want to injure myself anymore. I really love my life. So, in fact, this is one of my favorite affirmations. I love my life. Let's say that together. I love my life. Mm-hmm. It's a good one. I have a shirt that says it, and then when I go out and I'm grumpy somewhere, I'm like, Heidi, look at your shirt. Quit, just follow your shirt. That'll be good. All right, so I'd like to, if you don't mind, Penny, can we go on and put up that list? Okay, here you go. This is one I use almost every year because it's just so funny. So the first one was lose weight, and then he or she would lose weight again as the years go by. And then we got get fit, and then it's get fit next year. And then, let's see, give up alcohol, and cigarettes, and basically just drink less. And then there's one that says, stand up to my boss, and then it says, find a job. And then, be nicer to my wife, and then try to be nicer to my ex-wife. Mm-hmm. And sort out the junk in my shed, and now it's sort out the junk in my life. Mm-hmm. So thank you, because we have to lighten up, because this is get really serious. I can't do these things. And see if you can relate to this. Dear God, my prayer for 2021 is a fat bank account and a thin body. Please don't mix it up like you did last year. So the reason that the resolutions don't work is because we're looking at what we don't want. I don't want a body like this. But your body is saying, hey, I'm great just like I am. Right? The only way I ever did any weight loss was loving my body just as it is, and then learning about healthy things because of self-love, right? Not because you're going to like me better if I weigh less, which was kind of one of my stories when I was growing up with my family. It was, and all these things about being valuable if we are blank, rather than I am valuable because I'm born, because I'm here. And so it's interesting, and we do get to laugh at these habits, and this is the way. In fact, there's actually a resolution breaking day that is on January 17th. Yeah, it's official, because it takes 3 weeks to change a habit, so usually by the 17th, you're like, who cares? Yeah, that's why these resolutions have the line through them, Oh, well, I tried, what can I do? And so we want to not set ourselves up to fail, and the only reason we fail is because it's not about your own self-care. It's about a story that you learn somewhere that is not honoring the beauty of who you are. And I'd like to say that so many of us here have really taken risks to do what you love. whether it's sing in a choir, whether it's play an instrument that I still can't remember the name, God bless me, or that you've decided to get married and really grow in a relationship, that you've really looked at a healthcare plan that really works for you, on and on, that you've bought an RV and driving around like Marion and Garrett do, on and on. People just really risking to be happy, to live the life, and it's a risk because the first thing that happens is, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So part of what you're going to be writing today is probably going to be something, I like it to be something where you feel like you're stretching, that there's a word that's coming through that's really something that you're growing into. And there's another story, and this is, again, it can be humorous, but again, we look at how much we're saying back there with Christine. She's like, we got to give up sugar. Rather than, let me look at sugar. It's just sugar. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's just what it is. And how does it affect me? And do I want to, it can be light. We don't have to have sugar, as some kind of, devil influence. But anyway, I want you to hear this, and if you are a Scotsman, I'd like you to not take this personally, and if you do, you can read the 4 agreements, and then you'll get over it. All right, so here we go. So there was 5 political prisoners that were scheduled to be hanged in London. This is a very uplifting story. No, but and they were asked if they had a last wish. Now you can imagine we're going to really work with these, what's on your heart. So a last wish. The Scotsman said he'd like to play his bagpipes one last time. The German said that he would like to gaze upon the Bavarian Alps one last time. The Italian said he'd love to hear the Pope's Mass in St. Peter's Square one last time. The Frenchman said he would like to visit the red light district in Paris one last time. And the Irishman said he'd like to be hanged first so he didn't have to hear the Scotsman's bagpipes. Yeah, I can relate to that. Just don't let me be where that person is. Just don't let me be when that's going to happen. So I just hang me first so I don't have to deal with that guy, right? And we laugh because that is so much of what resolutions are made of and how we live. We want to avoid what we don't like rather than what is it in me that wants to see it differently. Right? I mean, abusive situations are abusive, dysfunction is dysfunction. So it's not, throwing yourself into a situation that's unhealthy, but it is seeing what is it about me that would change or could change that I wouldn't even be interested in this. I wouldn't even be drawn to this. I would actually be, it wouldn't even come into my perimeter. And that's what we're shifting when we're looking at the new year, to really get ourselves set up to be so interested in what it is that is on our heart to create that we are not interested in the Scotsman's bagpipes. We don't even think about it, right? It's not even up. It's like the Irishman didn't even get to have his last wish, right? Because he was so concerned about the bagpipes. All right, so I found another, because I really like bringing in some humor before we start talking about what this really is, because if you hadn't noticed, humor opens the heart. So I was watching a little video, and I found something Ellen DeGeneres was saying about resolutions, and she's a little, she stretches us all. So anyway, so here is Ellen talking about resolutions.
I'm just curious, how many of you made New Year's resolutions? Okay. How many of you kept them? Fewer hands are going on. I did not make any this year. Last year, my resolution was to stop procrastinating, and I still haven't gotten around to it. So I'm starting a new rule. You shouldn't be allowed to make any New Year's resolutions until you finish your old ones. That's my rule. That'll keep America busy right there. I don't know who came up with this tradition, but is New Year's Day the best time to start a resolution? You wake up at noon, you're hungover, you're not even sure where you are. It's not the time to worry about a new diet. You have bigger priorities, like, well, where are your pants? trying to figure out why there's a banjo in bed with you. You're covered in Cool Whip. Anybody? Anyway. Hypothetical, I was just wondering. I was curious what kind of resolutions that people made this year, so I asked my Facebook fans, and here are a few. Thank you, Danny. It's not his name. This comes from Lisa Rangel. My resolution is to look great naked, giving myself 2 months before my trip to Vegas. What are you planning to do in Vegas? Wow. Sharon Aya DeMarco, I think. Mine is to quit smoking for the children and grandkids. Ellen, I don't know if you read these. Geez, I can't even keep up with my own Facebook, and I'm not famous. Well, Sharon, I do read these, so maybe your resolution should be to have a little more faith in me. Patty Eldridge says, my resolution is to quit men. Some are easier than others. Misty Warren, this year I'm not going to miss an Ellen show for anything short of my own death. Now, some people have their priorities in order. Good for you, Misty. I wish you all success with your resolutions this year, and right now I'm going to stick to my resolution I made 10 seasons ago to dance after every monologue.
There you go. So, and that might be a resolution, but we get to laugh at these, right? We do these. I love the procrastination. I didn't have time to get around to it. And so we get to be in our sense of just openness and lightness, and to not really look at what did I say I was going to do last year, and I better clean it up this year. The question is, when you look at what is your calling and your purpose and your divine inheritance, it isn't a job. It isn't an obligation. It is absolutely something that's on your heart. It's often the thing that maybe it is about trusting more. Maybe it's about being loved more. I went to the Pops concert on New Year's Eve. It was really wonderful. I do not have the name of the baritone that sang. And he was magnificent. And he sang a song from Nat King Cole. And the song was, he said, the only important thing in life is to love and be loved. That the bottom line of life is to love and be loved. And I think many of us are really good at loving, but I wonder how good we are at being loved. Being loved unconditionally is the most uncomfortable thing ever. How are you for just receiving a compliment? Jim did so well. We said to him this morning, Peggy and I said, Jim, I love your tie and your shirt. He goes, it's beautiful, isn't it? And I'm like, oh, yes, it is, Jim, right? And I'm like, look at him. He's like, this is a child of God going on here. Come on, what could possibly be wrong with this? So we're really practicing loving ourselves just as we are. Go over and tell Jim you like his tie. It's a great response. It's beautiful, isn't it? I'm just like, gosh, that is really good. So I got some questions for you. Does anybody know how much Florence Nightingale weighed when she founded modern nursing? Does anyone know how much Rosa Parks weighed when she took her seat on the Alabama bus? Does anyone know how much Mala Yousafzai weighed when she started writing about the lives of girls in Pakistan under Taliban rules? Anybody know? Because it doesn't matter. Right? It isn't what this person was about, how much they weighed. It wasn't about that. It was about how they allowed the spirit of who they are to come through. And I would say, so what it is that's on your heart is very intrinsic in you, and it will also be really uncomfortable. Do you think it was uncomfortable for Rosa Parks? Yes. Do we think that this wonderful Mala, who was really supporting young women in Pakistan, was that almost dangerous? Yeah, but the point was, we get where we know, and I know we've all said this, I can't not do this. My second husband, okay, I've been married a couple times, when I decided to go to ministerial school, and I didn't know I was going to say this, but it just is coming out, when I decided to go to ministerial school and moved to Kansas City, he said, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. If you do that, we're probably not going to be able to stay in this relationship. And he had every right to say that. But I knew that I could not do that. I could not do what was a calling for me. So we see that this new word, this new experience is going to be sometimes, well, what if people don't want me to do that? It's okay. And we ended very amicably, and I went on, and he was part of supporting, some of the cause to go to ministerial school eventually. But the point is, had I not followed that calling within me, I would certainly have not been a very good marital partner, I can tell you. So when we don't listen and we disown who we are very unhappy and, often a little grumpy people. And you kind of miss the whole reason that you're here. So does this sound important? Yes. Can we say, I love my life again? I love my life. And it's going to be it will be a change. It will be uncomfortable. And I'm going to ask you to do something that I hope I don't get fired, but I'd like you to change seats with someone next to you, or if you're in a seat, just scoot over one, okay? Because this is part of how it works when we do change. So you're going to have to get up and change somebody next to you and move around and kind of recognize how you might be feeling like, well, this is uncomfortable. This isn't any fun. Oh, good for you. You can stay there. Good work, everybody. All right, thank you. Okay, give yourselves a hand, yes? Because that right there is something new. All right, when I said it, were you kind of like, my purse and everything's right here. I don't want to move, right? But I would say you all got up and did this pretty quickly. How does it feel to have a different perspective? Interesting, right? And can you see that maybe you missed where you were sitting a little bit? Maybe? I really had it all set up over there. So, okay, but I'll tell you, this is the energy of the new word, of the new year. It is not the old year. I mean, this sounds really silly, but I bought a new shade of lipstick. Oh my God. And they ran out of my old shade, and I had to get a new shade. And yesterday I'm putting it on. I'm like, oh, this is weird, right? Has it been a problem for anyone else? But this is how we do it, right? I'm sorry, Greg, I apologize. Yeah, I know it's hard. But, I was just thinking about it yesterday. This is what new feels like. It's like, this is not what I'm used to. But it's something new. And I walked out of my house. I saw one of my neighbors. She goes, you look great today. And I'm going to do what Jim said. Yes, I'm beautiful. I can't quite do that, Jim. But it was interesting. I think when we do the new, our energy changes. So when I saw the neighbor, I'm like, hi. And there was a different energy for me. It's like when you travel and you've never been somewhere and you can tend to say, I had so much fun on that trip. Because, see, I didn't know how to follow my routine and go where I always go. I had to explore. I had to meet people. I had to talk to people. I had to ask directions. I know, the guys. Oh, my God. But anyway, but it's really a fascinating thing when you go somewhere where you don't know where you are. It's wonderful. So we're going to do this in a moment. If we look at the scripture, it is said that without a vision, oh, you know what, darling? Let's go to the very first one. Without a vision, the people will perish. Now, this is Proverbs, when there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, and the law is that you are an ever-evolving soul that's never been here before and will never be here again, happy is he or she. So we're keeping the law that this is a new day, a new year. And so we keep the law in that we need to have a vision, right? And you will notice that if you're stuck and you're frustrated about something, it's because, and I have been, it's like turning the ocean liner around, I always say, and starting to put that energy into something new. And it may not be like I've got to go somewhere, do something. It might be a new perspective about a situation. How would I like to see this? So the question that we're going to be asking ourselves today in this is, what do I need to know about this? How do I want to feel about this? What would I be creating if I just knew I was this open channel of energy? But I really like the question, what is it that I need to know about this? And just sit with that as Spirit moves through you. You know, Saul was a soul in the Bible that was a kind of a director of wars and was a fighter and very much, anti things. And on his way to Damascus, he was hit with a blinding light, and he became Paul. And he went from Saul, which means personal will, to Paul, which means enlightened will. So that's what we're doing. We're moving from our Saul, kind of anti-something, to our Paul. And Paul went on to be a great teacher of Christianity. And again, we're all teachers. Don't you love it when you're having an issue with somebody and somebody comes up and goes, oh, he's your teacher. And you go, oh, thanks. Yeah, I really wanted to hear that. But it's always the truth, right? So when I'm in my Paul, I can go, yeah, you're right. I'm being taught. I'm being led. All right, so we have now something around 524,000 minutes for our year. And do you feel more clear about how important it is that you're engaged in these minutes? Does this make a lot of sense? Right? Does it also make sense that if I'm not engaged with the minutes of my life, life just becomes this like a tumbleweed? Anybody, Ann knows about the open spaces of Texas, just tumbling along. And that's not how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live with a lot of clarity and a lot of listening, a lot of really the perspective. We don't want to put the old wine in the new wineskins. This is the new wineskins of the year, and no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wine will burst the skins, and both the wine and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins. So that is what we're doing here with our Whitestone. And I love Henry Ford, who says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yes, so I know that we can live the life that we're born to live because that's why we're here. And let's say it again, I love my life. I love my life. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to take some time. Does everybody have their Whitestone? All right, we have all these colored pens. And I hope so. If you need a stone or you need a pen, thank you, Spencer. Anybody, just raise your hand. I'm glad we have carpet. This usually is the tinkling of the stones falling on the floor. But anyway, so everyone, I want you to take your stone, and you might just put it off to the side or just lay it on your lap for just a minute, because we're actually going to have a little bit of music with Noreen, and then Jim is going to play during the time you could be writing. So I invite you just to love this chair you're in. You chose it. It's a new one. And it has been said that who has ears, let them hear. As Spirit says to the churches, the one who is victorious, I will give some of the hidden manna. And manna is the food of Spirit. I will also give that person a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. So let us take a new breath into this new year. I'd like you to visualize a blank slate, whether it is a easel on which to paint or a blank piece of paper on which to write. And we'll start with the theme that'll be written on your Whitestone, but nothing from the past. It's over. Our opportunity is to learn from every single thing that's happened. So this is a blank slate. And do take a moment, hold that Whitestone in your hand. I told you to put it down, but let's hold it in your hand. And let's infuse it with the energy of you. No pressure, just let it be infused. We are choosing in this service to write a new name or a new word for ourselves. These white stones are from Israel. And this energy is from this the old place, that old land, and you are bringing a new consciousness into it. Back in the time of Jesus, there was a teaching that when someone was serving time in prison or in bondage, they were given a white stone when they were released. So each of us comes from some kind of bondage of thought, and we've been given a white stone to signify our freedom. We are here to listen to the still small voice as it whispers to us, and we develop this inner listening quality by getting out of our head or our intellect and connecting with our heart through this meditative process. We conquer and receive the hidden mana, our full potential, by consciously surrendering, letting go of what no longer serves us, that which we released in the burning bowl or what we have just let be in the last year. And by continuing our spiritual journey of this prayer and meditation, of denial and affirmation, we remember, I am, God is. I am, God is. Let's say it together. I am, God is. One more time. I am, God is. Let's do it 3 times. I am, God is. And we hear the choir of our voices. We hear the support of this community. And so I invite you to express what is on your heart, very simply. What you're leaning into, what feels like a stretch, but what feels very authentic. And Jim will play for us during this time, and just let it be. And let you know that you are free to be released from any place of restriction or bondage, knowing that the universe has said from the day you were born, grow, grow, grow. So let us write from our heart. We sit for just a moment in the silence. So as you hold this stone in your hand, know that you will keep this with you. You will see it as a symbol of who you have become or who you are becoming or of who you would like to become. Feel the presence of Spirit and know your oneness with God, with all that is. Know the I amness. Feel that presence that surrounds and supports you, that you are loved and you are precious. Anytime you look at your white stone, realize that you have the gift of choice, the gift to live differently, to have a more fulfilling life, to begin anew, to connect with Spirit and co-create with the universe. So thankfulness flows over us as we receive our new name or quality or know that it will come to us at the right and perfect time. Along with it comes the power and the guidance to achieve all that we desire. This is a new name, a new consciousness. We see it, we decree it, we accept it. We are on the path to greater insights and a deeper awareness of the presence of Spirit as us. Behold, all things are made new. We can say that together. Behold, all things are made new. It is God's good pleasure to give you this kingdom. You've already received it. I invite you to accept this consciousness of ever-increasing good in your life and to carry this white stone as a reminder of that promise. We feel a sense of lightness. We feel a great sense of love and support. And we know that we will be supported through every step and every thought, and all things will come together for the awakening of your soul, and through that, the awakening of others. And so it is. Amen. So thank you for participating in this really wonderful experience of the new year. And you can always pass it along to other people, talk to people about it, take some white stones for people that you know might want to have this experience. This, of course, is recorded, and you can watch it again. And so just know that this is a really amazing experience. I've had people have their stone just guide them the whole year, and recognize how powerful it is to be uniquely you. We're going to celebrate now our abundance and our generosity. And so we are giving to Unity of Santa Barbara. We love our space, we love our place, we love our staff and everybody that's part of this. And so thank you all for coming from that place of generosity. You can, our ushers will come through in a little bit, and you can give that way. If you're online, of course, you can click the donate button. And you know, Spencer, hang on one sec before we're going to be singing. But hang on 1 minute. I know you've got, look at you, you got all this going on. I'm actually we're going to do a little lesson because it's a new year. So everybody want to learn something new? Okay, so part of the way that our system works with the financial flow here is through a system called Givelify. And what you do, because I do this on my phone, and it is so easy that you go to your app store. Does everybody know their app store? App store? So you go to your app store, and then you put in Givelify. And after you put in Givelify, you will download that app that looks like that orange app. And then you put in, it says, what's the nonprofit you want to support? And you put in Unity of Santa Barbara. And then anytime you want to give, you just press your little, because I know during offering, I'm on my phone a lot, and people are like, she's texting during offering, how rude. But see, really what I'm doing is I'm giving on my phone. And so it's the little give app that comes up. So I just want to invite people that is, we're all learning technology, aren't we? Yes, we love technology. If you want to give with a credit card, card. There'll be someone out there. We have a wonderful program called Growing the Good. That's our recurring giving program. You can certainly join that. And thank you all for being part of Being the Blessing that was supporting different aspects. We had a wonderful staff gift. Thank you for that, for the staff bonus. And anyway, we just so appreciate the generosity of this community. It's a really big deal. So we're going to, yes, if you get in Growing the Good, you get a little garden stake. Yes, and someone's bell's ringing. I get it. An angel got its wings, right? All right. So let's put our hands together here. We're going to bless your offering and just know, I always say one of many channels, all right? So it's divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And let us sing, God is my source.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love give me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need.
So Natalie's going to sing another song for us, and I'd really like you to listen to the words. It's called Unwritten, because this year is unwritten. All right? Okay, here we go.
I am unwritten, can read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning. The pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Trade yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with eyes wide open. To the end, where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. Speak the words unspoken. Live your life without
so beautiful. I know, this unwritten life, I tell you. Are we all committed to live a really good 524,000 minutes that are left? Yes, okay, great. 1 minute at a time. All right, first of all, is anyone here for the first time? We want to say welcome. Mel, you have been here before, but you can take a sunflower if you want. Are you here for the first time? Yeah, thank you. Welcome. You have a sunflower we'd like to give you. Yeah, y'all are both here for the first time. Is that right? 2 sunflowers. Come on. Yeah, welcome. Elvira brought her friends. And oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for, now your name again? Leah, welcome. And we have a packet out there of info. And we'd really love for you to sign up for our e-blast, our e-information. We've got so many things going on here. We'd love you to just know what's happening. So welcome. Really glad you're here. Y'all are the VIPs. That's how it goes. Yes. All right. Now we want to celebrate January birthdays. So who was born in the month of January? Well, look at you January people. Y'all stand up. We're going to sing to you, and we're going to give you a pink rose. All right. So we're going to say loved ones in the name of the names. All right. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. There you go, Jan. And we have more roses in the kitchen, but you get a little sunflower right now, all right? Okay, well, happy birthday, you all. It's just, I tell you what, I'm glad you're here. We do this the first Sunday of the month. So, all right, so we are starting a new series. It's going to be January 16th. You can actually get credit for it if one is wanting to get Unity credit to be a licensed Unity teacher, but it's the book, The Power Within, Discover the Power Within You. It's by Eric Butterworth, one of Unity's classic teachers. It's a remarkable book, and again, it's what we're talking about, discovering that power within you. And then we're going to have a 3-week online class that's going to start on January 26th through February 9th, and so I'd love you to, I'm going to be teaching that and love you to just get online and we can talk about what you're learning about the power within. Yes, okay, there is a undecorating party. Woo! It's going to be this Tuesday morning at 10. You are welcome to see Peggy, or you can email her, or you can just show up at 10 o'clock and there'll be some hot beverages or something going on. Now, the movie group is meeting, so they're always the first Sunday. Thank you to Russ Chafin and Carol Lazar for leading this group, and they're going to be going to see American Underdog this afternoon at the Fairview Theater. It starts at 2:25, and you need to be there at 2:15, because that's when they're going to be going inside. All right, it's an uplifting film about a man realizing his dream as a professional football player. Sounds like he filled out a white stone and said something about football. Right. Okay, so I really want to thank our volunteers, our ushers, everybody that does all the things that are great, the kitchen people and the ushers. And I want to take 1 second. He's back there, but I really want to thank Gary Adkins. We've had a flood that kept flooding. And Gary, stand up, Gary. Yes, y'all thank him so much. We love you, Gary. He showed up with his mop day after day. He finally called me. He said, Heidi, is this how we're going to be working with this flood? Like, I show up every day with a mop? And I'm like, Gary, as long as it rains, kinda, right? So thank you, Gary. He's been just really working tirelessly, and it's going to get fixed because now the sun's out. So thank you all so much. So again, enjoy this experience of the rest of your 524,000 minutes. The white stone, you can just continue to use that energy of what do I want to write down in my life? It is so powerful to write things down and watch them manifest. And so do a vision board. We may do a vision board workshop later in January, but I just invite you to use that powerful, powerful co-creative energy that is yours and will always be there. All right, blessings, and let us all sing. We're going to stand and sing the peace song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and let it begin with me. Oh, I want to thank Jim Grippo for being here, and Noreen, and Natalie, and I'm just spacing out here, Randy and Renee. Yay, y'all, and our AV group. Okay, let's do it.
Let there be peace on earth.
us say the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God folds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let us make it a great new year.